Evening all, and welcome back to Kerbalism. So today we're going to focus on the moon. Not going there to explore it anymore because we've got pretty much all the science from there. No, we're going to go and build a station in orbit of the moon, hopefully for helping us get further out into the solar system later on. It's not going to be the ideal station because ideally I'd like the station to have the ability to build ships, to get ore, to convert it to rocket parts, to build ships, also to mine up water and other resources and convert them into fuel. But we don't have a water drill yet. That's actually further down the trek tree. We need to upgrade our science centre to do that, which we can't afford yet. So not going to have that capability yet, but it will be able to build ships. Hopefully, that's the idea. But first, before we can actually get anywhere to do with that, we need to find out where all the metals are on the moon. And that is where this ship comes in. This is carrying the extraplanetary launch pad's stupidly sized scanner, which is very big, very, very big. But it's the only way to actually scan the moon for metal ore, which is what extraplanetary launch pad uses. It's not just standard ore it uses, it's got to have metal ore to do things. I did notice, however, that when you smelt metal ore, you do get water out of it, which is interesting. It might mean there is some way to do that. I might have to have a little station on the moon, smelting it, producing the water, then bring it up and convert it into fuel, possibly. I might have that all done on the moon and just literally have a fuel station in orbit. I'm not too sure yet, but we'll figure it out either way. And here we are, one short trip over, just below the moon. We're about to put ourselves in a polar-ish orbit. It's going to be pretty polar, but I think slightly off. No, in fact, it's going to be dead level, but we can adjust that later. This telescope, the orbital mass detector, requires 500 kilometers, roughly. So hopefully this will be good for it, and we can scan the moon for all its wonderful, wonderful resources. Then we know where to land to obviously get them all. I think I'm going to put a fueling station in orbit and have all the processes done down on the moon and just send it up. That makes sense in my head because then I can make the fuel on the moon and use that fuel to get it to the station. There's not much gravity on the moon. We were better on Mimas, but we got a contract to do a station around the moon, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, is that good? 518, 500 and... Okay, let's just push our orbit out a little bit that way, and then we're done. We are in orbit. Yep, that'll do. Right. So, what we can do is we can deploy this, which is long. It's very long. I'm not sure what this represents in real life. I'm not sure what sort of detector does that sort of thing. Not even sure if there is one. I think now it's extended. Nope, don't work. Okay, but yeah, that's our detector detecting stuff, I think. Now all I need to do is figure out exactly how to view it on the world. I don't think it's anything to do with this, is it? Resource. Metal ore? No, you say we don't have a scan of it yet? Data's locked. Metal ore. Surface average. I'm going to have a look, see if I can figure out exactly how to get this to come up, and I shall be right back. So, there we go. we needed to bring up the overlay options here. I do have another scanner on this hidden away inside here, which I know seems a bit weird, but that's what I did. I've got another scanner in there because I'm not sure if we put one of those around the moon yet. I can't remember, but yeah, that's poked in there, so that might be helping with this anyway. But yes, there we go. There is all our metal ore. There's the water, there's the metal ore. It would appear where the metal ore is, there is no water, which is okay, I suppose. Where's the highest concentrate of metal ore? Up here, 6%. Or up here we've got an 8% chance. That's good. What about water in that area? No, water's non-existent in that area. Yeah, okay, that's going to be a little awkward. Might have to set up 2 mining stations. Yeah, it does literally appear where the metal ore is. It's just not getting water. So yeah, so in the northern crater, that's where all the metal is. That's probably where we want to set up a base to start mining it all and grabbing it. And then water, we'll probably have to set up a different base somewhere. Really 4% is about the highest I'm seeing there, so yeah, but at the moment, as I said, we don't have water drills, so I'm not all that fussed about that one. We can figure out the water at a later date. We've also got metallic ore, which I'm not really sure what the difference is. Many different things here. Metal ore is the one we want. So let's try and figure out how to build a... Well, first and foremost, I suppose we should put a station in orbit so that we can complete the contract. And this is the main station core. Quite ambitiously, I'm trying to launch it all in one go. It's 350 tons, about over 500 including the fuel and the launcher with it. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get this into orbit. Going to be a weird sort of launch, but yeah. So let's see whether we can actually get this one going. Well, after a very unorthodox launch, I basically went straight up to about 50k and then turned over 90 degrees and fired. I was really worried about if I leant over too early, the aerodynamics of this top part would just make us flip. So yeah, I did misjudge it slightly and actually had to skip back off the atmosphere again, which was interesting. Went down to about 50k and really thought things were going to explode, but they didn't. We are on our way to the moon here. I've set up an encounter going on just there, should be quite nice close, but I have made a mistake. When I was playing about trying to get this thing to work to figure out how to do it, I had these tanks here full of fuel. I then capped them down to 1,000 units each because the contract says we need 4,000 units of liquid fuel on board. I see that's not ticked. I turned on crossfeed here thinking maybe I could fill them up and then use this stage to let it go, and it used all the fuel in them. They're completely empty, all 4 of them. So yeah, I've got about enough fuel to get into orbit, and then I'm gonna have to send up a fueling refueler. Yeah, let me try and get the camera going on something a bit better here that makes sense. There we go. Right. Yeah, this is basically a very simple station. It's got 2 living quarters here, hitchhiker containers. That's going to satisfy the having 6 Kerbal, so it's got 8 and 9 for the cupola. We have Jen Land in here, our brave pilot. She's going to be our station manager. It's got all this life support here along with the waste container because I do have a waste processor in the cupola and wastewater ones in here because they can support all 4 different things. We've got plenty of oxygen and nitrogen, although I need to review something on nitrogen because for some reason these 2 huge tanks are only 190 days of nitrogen. That's only with 1 Kerbal, so yeah, that's interesting. I'm not really sure how I'm going to figure that one out, but whatever. So we've got the two extending docking ports on either end, which I'll probably just extend now. Why not? So I remember that they are extending ones. And I've left the other two blank because I'm going to put the larger docking ports on there once we unlock them. And then we can have ships come in and dock with this and do whatever it needs to. I might have to extend the arms out a bit, I don't know. Down the bottom, obviously, we have a reaction wheel, got one at the top, and a monopellet in the centre with some RCS, so we can do fine manoeuvring with this if we need to. I don't predict that we'll need to, but it's always nice to have some form of station keeping. And then, of course, that's just going to be discarded to whatever. I don't know when. We'll probably sort something out with that. Can't really crash it onto the moon. Oh, we're getting the clips. Awesome. Yeah, I can't really crash it because the RCS will not be enough to get me back up into orbit. But yeah, but I do need to send a tanker up, and I have realised I need to send up a tug as well. This will do with having a tug, so when the ships come in, they can be tugged in rather than having to worry about RCS on them. That probably makes more sense to do that. To have it so that the ships just come in like in real life in with boats, naval yachts. The giant ships come in. They stop just outside port, and then the little tugs go in, grab them, and tug them into dock. That makes more sense for a space station as well. It makes more sense. Then you don't have to worry about every ship having RCS or maneuvering things. They don't have to be fine maneuvering. They can be large. They can be bulky. And with these extending little pods here, we can just go grab one of them, bring it in somewhere close, dock it to it. Job done. And there we are. With that maneuver complete, we are in orbit of the moon. Our station is ready. It's on pretty much level. Yeah, it's close. Inclination's pretty good. So what I need to do is I need to point it radial out, so it's always on the same axis when I come to meet it, which doesn't really work because when you leave a craft and come back again, the SCS doesn't always pick up where it left off. But if I do that, at least then I know the solar panels are going to get some form of sunlight, and all will be good. I'm not really worried about the battery. The battery is good. So yeah, let's just go round an orbit and check that the battery is in fact good. Have a look, see here. Signal lost with the station. Yep, that's fine. That's not a problem at all. Each and every time she's going to do that, and probably... Actually, I probably want to just face it normal. Now I think about it. Does mean not all the solar panels are going to get their sunlight. Then they will get them as they go round. So yeah, that probably makes more sense. And then that way I know that the docking ports are exactly where they're supposed to be. Right. Okay. So let's go round the dark side of the moon. Here. So it's got about 20 minutes worth of battery power on it. And takes about 12 minutes to get around the back of the moon. So that's good. There are ways you can see this. I can't remember how it is. I'm sure Kerbalism was it, but it doesn't matter because, as far as I'm concerned, that is all good. So, okay, gentlemen, you are happy here for... Well, you've got a year worth of food and 2 years worth of water. So you're happy here for quite a while. I don't know what stress is going to do to you. Not much, considering you've got lots of space, although you are alone, so... Right, so next port of call then would be to complete this contract. We need to send up 4,000 units of liquid fuel and dock it to here. And here we are in orbit. Another very unorthodox approach. Again, because I didn't think this was so aerodynamic, so I went straight up and fell over a bit more than I did with the last one. My approach wasn't as steep, but it still went up too far didn't quite have enough in the first stage to do it today. Come back through and just skip the anchor and went down to about 50k all the fuel on board. That's what I did last time actually. Then complete the contract for us. I have also disabled the tanks, so damn sure they will not be used this marker to fire here. But yes, we have a very long burn to get all the way to the moon, and this stage is not going to be enough to do it. So we're going to have to rely on our actual descent stage to get us there. It does have enough fuel to do it. I'm hoping it's got enough fuel to stop us when we get to the moon. I'm not entirely sure about this, but well, we shall find out once we get there. Okay, so I've done the maneuver to the moon, and we are going to line up with the station quite nicely. We have to slow down, do an orbit, and then speed up a little bit to catch it. So that will all be good. But the biggest drawback is that the burn to get into orbit of the moon requires 54 seconds of delta V. We have 53.4, which is awkward, which is very awkward. However, the mission requires 4,000 units of liquid fuel, and these carry 1,700 each, which is 5,100. So I can transfer 1,000 units of fuel out of there and into here, which I'm thinking of doing. I think that might be an idea. I don't have a balance mod, which would be nice here, but can I do it the old-fashioned way? Grab that one. Then you want to put it on. Pin that. Grab that one. Pin that. I go out. Oh, okay. That was not what I expected to happen. I expected them to be out and stay going out. Right, so the built-in system doesn't work for this. I can't balance it with that. Is there a way I can do it with the other? With this here? I'm sure there is. Or what I could just do is unlock them, and then it'll burn the fuel down evenly. So I don't have to worry about transferring fuel. Actually, that's what I'll do. I'll just unlock them, and then we know. I'm just trying to balance the fuel out a bit. If I get more in the front, it will help there. But yeah, if I just unlock them, then it will let me literally just burn the fuel. Although I could do it this way, I suppose. I could fill this one up here. And if I use all that fuel, I'm now going to be stuffed. Because that would leave me with less than 4,000. Okay, we'll see. I'll have a play about with this and find out what's going on with it, and we shall go to the moon. And here we are at the moon. We are just waiting for this maneuver here to finish. I think I want to be facing retrograde for this. What I did in the end was I basically put all the fuel into here from the tanks, and then pumped fuel back out till there was 1,337. Not intentional, that one, but 1,300 was what I was looking for, because that would give me the 4,000 required. 1,333 point whatever. So yeah, that will give me the 4,000 required in these three tanks here, so we can use all the fuel in this and not have to worry about it, which is the important part. Now I do remember I need to be slightly off target here because the inclinations are slightly different. Right. Is that good? Is that good? Let's see here. We are 2.9 kilometers away. Let's see here if I fire the engine a tiny bit more. If it comes down, 1.2. There we go. Or 0.2. 0.4. That's close enough. That will do. Okay. Now, there is a small drawback. This doesn't have any Kerbals on board. It's powered by a probe that's hidden in the nose. So if I end up going out of range with the antenna, I can't control this. So I need to also set up a relay network around the moon. That's something that must be done at some point. So open that so I know exactly what I'm doing, and control from there. Should be the same, but just to make sure. So let's warp around to here, shall we? Great time out there. We'll switch this to target, so I'm retrograde to the target. And I think here, oh no, we're going to get a bounce off this one here. We do have a few satellites in orbit that can bounce signal, but there are times when it goes completely dark, so got to be very careful of that. Okay. There was the station loaded. That pause there. And there's something else I've just realised. I wanted to build a tug, didn't I? A little tug to get this in and out and where it was going to. And I don't have one. This does have RCS on it. It's got some RCS inside there, and this does have RCS ports, but there's nowhere near enough for what I'm trying to do here. Can I dock with the main engine? Man, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Yeah. Okay. So, let's start ourselves down here, I think. It is quite manoeuvrable, even with all the fuel on board. What I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to turn the thrust limiter right down to about 10%. Even will do, and then that way I'm not ever thrusting. Even if I do accidentally press something, I'm not going to smash into the station at full speed. That is not what anybody wants. So let's get ourselves a bit closer and see what we can do. Okay, moment of truth time. I think I've got everything sorted out and lined up. It's just whether it will actually grab or not. I'm hoping the magnets will do the job. Turn off the SAS. See what happens here. Oh, definitely doing something. And there we are, docked using the main engine. That was really, really slow. Obviously I've sped the footage up there quite a bit, but that was very, very slow to do. Right. First and foremost, I want to actually change this to a station. Okay. And I want to control from here. And I want to point us normal again, if you don't mind. I'm not sure why my camera's at an odd. I think there we go, that's better. But anyway, that is done. That means this contract is finally complete. So we could quite happily transfer the fuel out of all of these really. So let's do that. You and you as well. I'm going to go and fill that one up. And then them on the other side to balance it out a bit. And then I can refuel this there. The idea with this tanker was that this centre stage here, if it's completely full of fuel, if the whole ship is completely 100% full of fuel, it has enough in this centre tank to get off the surface of the moon, up to orbit, and close to the station. So it should be all good for that. I need about 640, and I think it's got almost twice that. So there won't be any problems with fuel shortage or anything in that lines. And to land, obviously you need to take 640 meters a second, which would be, well, less than that tank. So the idea would be, and I'd fill that up about halfway, and everything would be awesome, basically. Okay, so we've still got a lot of fuel left there. Put those in there. Right. And I actually think that if I was to then transfer all that out and into that tank there, that would have it all prepped and ready for a landing on the moon. Which we're not going to do yet. We don't have any facilities on the moon for making anything really. So there's no point in sending it down. It can just stay docked there. Obviously our moon, we ideally want to go into the big crater up here. This one here. But maybe somewhere along the equator would be easier to get to. I have to have a double check and a look at that. But the important thing is that obviously this contract is now complete. I think the bad thing though is that I've spent more money sending this up than I'm going to get back from the contract. Which is awkward and not exactly ideal, but well, this is infrastructure. This helps us. This is going to get us to a stage where it's going to be all good for everything, because this will give us the ability to go further into our solar system. We can send ships up. We could even have another tanker coming from this station to the station in around Kerbin, because we can do aero braking with that. So yeah, there's no reason this tank I couldn't put another one of these tankers and have it going between this one and Kerbin. And then we can send ships up into orbit of Kerbin, refuel them, or even build them in orbit. That's a possibility. We build them in orbit of the moon, send crews up to the moon, put them on there, and then they can go away. We can go and explore strange new worlds and not meet anyone because we're alone in the universe, which is odd considering the universe is about that big. But, well, no Kerbal knows what goes on beyond. There are stars out there, look, we can see them. But maybe there are other things, who knows. But yeah. So, let's go back to the Space Center and double check what's going on with the money here. Yeah, it was as I thought. We've actually gone down money because there were them launches. But, well, that's to be expected, I suppose, when we're setting things up. So, yeah, at least we have the station there now. So, preparations for that are about halfway complete. We just need the mining system on the moon, and we're good to go. But that will have to wait for the next episode. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope to see you again next time, and until then, as always, have fun.